Let's explore some different options for creating chamfers. Now, before we begin, let's notice that the contour toolpath we created for this chamfer should be moved to the bottom. So I'm going to right click and drag, and I'm going to move after. So now the last toolpath should be that chamfer we just created. Let's move our insertion arrow down to the bottom, so any additional chamfer toolpaths will be created here. So one option is to use what's called the model chamfer. Now the model chamfer toolpath is really a smart version of the contour toolpath with the chamfer option. And the reason is because, first of all, you need to use a chamfer mill tool, but it also looks at other geometry for collisions. So let's go in and chain just this open pocket here. And I'm going to make sure that partial loop is turned on. And I'm going to chamfer from here to there. And under the tool, let's just select and create a new tool. In this case, we're going to create a chamfer mill. I'm just going to accept the default. This is fine for now. Let's make this comment model chamfer. And you'll notice back under the toolpath type, we have chain geometry, which is what we chained. And it also by default selects the entire side model for clearance. And notice we have a 0.0 value for side clearance. Everything else is pretty standard. However, for cut parameters, let's make sure the width is set to 20 thousandths and the bottom offset is set to 50 thousandths. Our stock to leave on walls and floors will be 0. Everything else will remain the same. So I'm going to click OK. And notice what happens here. The toolpath does not start at this area here. And the reason is because it sees the solid model as something that might collide with. And to better illustrate that, let's go in and actually take a backplot of this. Notice as it comes close, it comes right up to this wall, but it does not hit the wall. The reason it does that is because we don't have a side clearance. But then notice what it does is it will actually chamfer this, and you can see the material it's removing right here. If we were to go back into the parameters of this model chamfer toolpath and add a little bit of side clearance, let's just say 20 thousandths, and regenerate the toolpath. Now you'll see that there is in fact some space here, and specifically it's 20 thousandths. So that's the model chamfer toolpath. Very, very useful for when you have intricate features and you want to make sure you're not colliding with those features that you don't want to chamfer. Another option is the multi-axis Deburr toolpath. Now this toolpath is accessible if you have the multi-axis option inside of Mastercam. But if you do, it'll be under multi-axis and it's called Deburr. For the tool, I'm going to choose tool number 11, the ball end mill. And for the comment, I'm going to put down Deburr. In the cut pattern, as you can see, we have areas here for the geometry input. For my part surfaces, I'm going to triple click, which will select the entire body. Then I can select end selection. For the edge definition, I'm going to choose Find, and I'm going to select the two edges that I want to deburr. I'm going to go back to the full loop option and not the partial loop that was used for the contour, the chamfer toolpath previously. Let's select this one here, and you'll also notice for the edge shape here, we have defines the overall deburr shape. And under the tool axis control, this is where I'm going to lock it to 3 axes. At this point, let's just say I just have a 3-axis machine. I could, if I had a 5-axis machine, change this to a 5-axis output. And under the linking, you'll notice that linking is slightly different based on this toolpath because it does use our 5-axis calculations. For now, let's click OK. And when the toolpaths get calculated, we take a look and we'll see that as the toolpath comes in, It curves in, and then it works its way around. And of course, this is simple 3-axis motion, but if you can imagine on a complex part using the Deburr toolpath, all the motion is handled automatically for you, and you can use it to simplify the programming and deburr your entire part with minimal effort. So these are another 2 ways for finishing the part. We saw the model chamfer option, which is under the 2D group. And if you have multi-axis, you have access to the deburr function, which can be used for 5-axis machine output. In this next final video, we're going to look at how to machine the text so we can identify where our G54 is if we ever need to use this fixture again.